C3 Risk and Insurance Services
is proud to sponsor our show. Guys, sometimes bad things happen and you need money.
All the time.
C3 Risk and Insurance Services can cover all your insurance needs. Go to facebook.com/C3Insured to get a quote from Joe Earl, our good friend. If you get a policy from them, they will give you a $25 Amazon gift card. That's C3 Risk and Insurance Services.
Oh, yeah. Hit them up. Tell them Shefsky sent you.
Stand Up Talk. Now, another offering from the Stand Up Talk Radio Network.
Crime is a show where I, Rich Slaton, read a true story about lawbreakers.
With his overly aggressive heavy metal fan, John Shefsky.
You look super metal today, bro.
Do I really?
Yeah, you do.
Because
So
I have a
metal.
black shirt
You're
on?
in black. You got tattoos. Your hair's all messy. Your eyes have fire behind them.
I'm doing this with my hands.
Yeah.
Fucking hell yeah!
Yeah, can't you guys see it on the podcast what he's doing with his hands? It's super metal. We should play the music, though.
Just pick my nose. Play the music.
Play it! Play the music! Hurry!
Crime is the show that starts now.
Like right now?
Oh, yeah. Do your line.
Okay. Each week, Rich reads a real crime story. I don't know a word that rhymes with story.
And my homie John always has the hot riff. He really loves it when you send...
Don't send anything
them
to me.
him.
Don't you dare.
Crimepodcast@gmail.com.
Don't you send
Label
anything.
it John Shefsky. He loves them. Make sure the lighting's really good. Welcome back to the show. Hey, some quick shout-outs to some cities that are being super cool. Omaha, as always.
We shout out to them every week, Rich, because they are the fucking...
They are the shit, but also the Washington, D.C., Hagerstown area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, New York City.
D.C.
Chicago.
New York.
Seattle, Tacoma.
Bay
Area. Pick your shit up, Bay
my
Area.
Nirvana fans?
Yeah.
I feel so good.
But the Bay Area needs to step up their game, guys.
No, we're too like real and honest. The Bay Area is like, they said bad words that are offensive.
Guys, cum is a great topic that the Bay Area is probably all about. So you guys should be totally on board with this show.
That's true. Come on, Bay Area. Come on, Bay Area.
Come on.
Come on the Bay Area. Coat it with jizz, I say.
Yes,
the whole
sir.
area.
Yes, sir, the whole thing.
Shut the airport down.
Great way to start off the show. Tell people about it. Rate us on iTunes. Do all that shit. But most importantly, enjoy today's episode with a very funny comedian. Her album, Please Don't Leave Me, was #1 on comedy for iTunes. Welcome the very funny Jessica Michelle Singleton!
Yay! Oh my God, you guys are so cool. I'm excited. Oh.
She's so flattering.
Mm-hmm. And she's caffeinated.
She's caffeinated.
Iced
not
coffee,
enough.
black.
I need more.
Suck it down.
Yeah.
Change your
It's
order
black, I
Don't use
will.
the straw.
last minute.
I'm sorry. I had to cut out the coconut.
Fair enough. I get it. You heard that it's like bad for your heart now? That's the new
Wait,
thing.
what
Is that a thing?
Coconut
no, don't
oil
tell me
apparently
that.
is now bad
That's
for
been
your
an
heart.
argument since the beginning of
That
motherfucking
is
time.
that is a lie started by the olive oil industry because they're losing money.
Not from me.
Canola oil is mad. Big Canola is very upset.
Big Canola. That's my
at
hip hop
coconut
name.
oil.
What's up? I'm Big Canola.
I think just fake garbage things are getting mad because people are starting to, I don't know.
Fat is back. Do you guys know that?
Fat is
Fat
back.
is back.
My back is fat. I know
Yeah,
that.
back fat.
That
is
makes
back.
that makes at least two of us. I don't know about Shefsky. He seems like he doesn't eat enough.
Are you kidding me? I'm skinny fat, man. I have
you are?
Yeah, out of the three of us, I have the weird shaped body
No,
here, dude.
I have a weird body.
Dude. Well, do you? All right.
Yeah,
do you have
I
a
have
weird
dad
bod?
bod.
I have a pretty weird
You have dad bod? She's
Yeah.
doing her openers on our podcast, folks. This is the guest we've been waiting for.
dad
Thank you.
bod.
That's fucking great. That's so funny. I've never heard a girl
I
say
never had a
bod.
dad bod.
I've had a dad bod since I was a kid, and people
That's
will
the next
joke
album.
about it
Little
now.
Lady Dad Bod.
Little lady dad bod. That's really great.
This is what I'm good at.
That's how flattering
I
she is.
should
She
have
actually told Rich
been
that
in the
was great.
industry rather than one of these creative type peoples, but
Yeah, but you just won't quit.
I know. I just keep on holding on with my teeth. It's the purple shirts that keep me coming in. That's right.
God.
Purple shirt
Come.
again. Purple bracelet and purple shirt.
I wasn't going to
What's
say
up,
anything.
fool?
I
What's
wasn't
up?
going to say
Bracelet.
anything.
I'm
Philip
just saying things.
Christopher.
What's happening?
Well, he wears purple sometimes to offend everyone's eyes. All right, go on with your story.
Philip Christopher
Oh,
was
no.
born in 1943 to a small Italian family in the Collinwood district of Cleveland, Ohio.
Mamma mia.
They probably said that at least once. His father, Joseph, was a first-generation Italian, a bus driver who made wine in his spare time and
Fuck
listened
you!
to opera.
Get off my fucking bus! I gotta get home and make my fucking vino.
Drunk bus driver.
A drunk opera-listening bus driver.
Oh, that's awesome. You just get on the
What
bus.
a terrible bus ride.
Your stop is next.
Oh, he sings the opera? Get off my fucking bus, you homeless piece of shit!
Well, you didn't have to make it mean. His mother, Irene, was a quiet woman who kept a traditional Italian home.
There's my husband. He's a little loud.
Phil was a normal kid. He loved sports, playing baseball for the team at his local church.
Yay!
He was ambitious from doing odd jobs at a young age to make the money his parents couldn't provide.
Oh, damn.
Oh, dude, that's the
His mom
hardcore-
needs to leave the home. That's the problem with... Never mind.
He might not have been such a good kid if his
With
mom left the home.
Italians, we knew you were racist.
That's
I'm not
right.
Italians. I mean, I'm not racist.
I'm not
what
Italian.
happened?
How
Thank
dare
God
you
I'm not Italian.
Wait, are we racist Italians?
It's the
But
best
at
kind of
12
Italian.
years old, Phil got really sick and was diagnosed with rheumatic fever,
Oh no, this is too close to home.
a rare and potentially dangerous
You
disease.
had that?
No, I have a
You have a
rheumatic disease.
rheumatic thingy. This one happens when strep throat goes untreated, and it's like very rare and very dangerous.
Oh man.
He spent 2 weeks in the hospital and a couple more months in bed.
I could barely get one meatball down my fucking throat.
You're thin, you're not
that was
eating.
a very Jewy
I
Italian.
got really
Fuck
Jewish
you,
too.
kid.
I think Italians are just like spaghetti Jews.
spaghetti juice.
Spaghetti juice?
That's what they are from now on.
That sounds like my whole family.
Phil made a full recovery and was excited to play high school sports, but his dad refused to sign liability waivers, worried his son would get sick again. Now Phil was healthy, a little bit older, and with a lot of free time on his hands.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Trouble. Time to get into trouble. Idle hands make the devil's
They are.
Masturbation.
Yeah, that's what they
Lasagna.
the devil's lasagna.
Oh, those pasta Jews. Spaghetti Jews.
Hey, I can't afford to have 8 fucking nights of this holiday over here. My mother's
Hey.
cooking all these fucking latkes.
Yeah, but don't use coconut oil. It'll fuck up your heart.
Is that a callback to our pre-show fucking riffs?
He
Was
also...
that before the show? Anyways, go on.
It was on the show, but before we got into the story.
Oh man.
I know how time works.
Go on with your story. I know
What
you know.
happened with Phil?
He also began to notice that other kids from richer families had nicer things.
Yeah,
so he
that's
put the
how
extra
money
time
works.
to work. He
Sorry,
put
I'm
that
sorry.
extra time to work and began to steal. At first, it was little things. Having a friend distract the clerk at the counter while he shoplifted candy and sodas.
A black
Totally
friend.
innocent shit. Yeah, of course he had his black friend do it. She's
Hey, why
right.
don't you get them to follow you around for a couple of minutes, and then I'll white steal over here. It'll be pretty fun.
They're already gonna bust you, you know. Let me get some candy.
Soon he added another small racket, holding money for his friend who was siphoning cash from his job of counting the donations to the church collection plate.
Oh, that's where it starts to get funny.
no.
Stealing from church. Well, they've been stealing.
His
so let 'em take
Italian
it back.
mother.
Jesus money.
This is a Robin Hood story. Yeah, you gotta take that fucking money back from the fucking church.
Phil had his first brush with the law at 14 when he got caught taking a car for a joyride. He earned 6 months probation,
This kid's badass so far. I haven't seen a bad thing come out of this.
and after probation, he moved on to hooping,
What's that
What
mean?
is
Playing
hoopin'?
basketball?
breaking into the trunks of cars to steal the spare tires.
Why?
What do you do with the tires? Sell them to
sell 'em.
shipyards?
You
or
sell 'em.
whatever?
Poor
You sell 'em
people
for like
do
$10
the
a
weirdest
pop.
things.
Who buys a black market fucking spare tire?
Well, you guys know like the whole stealing copper from construction sites thing. Like that's massive.
No, we used to steal pallets to burn for bonfires.
Just for your party times?
And just beat up mailboxes with bats. Did you guys do that? Man, I was trash.
Yeah, mailbox.
Yeah, with the mailbox stuff?
Yeah.
We didn't beat them up with bats, but I like to drive into trash cans and watch them go poof and fly over and stuff fly
Same
out
thing,
everywhere.
but people.
I never fucked up anyone's
Oh
mailbox.
my God, Becky.
But a
Look.
bunch of my friends got angry at some other kid at school for ratting on them. And so they bleached something. I can't remember if they wrote like rat or just drew a dick, but they bleached stuff into his lawn.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah.
cute. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's like TPing. It's
Yeah.
funny. No one gets hate.
No mailboxes. Phil was generous with the money he made, treating
about
neighborhood
female
kids to
boxes?
ice cream, paying for his friends to
Aw.
see the ball games, and even buying his little brother a bike.
He's a fucking hero, kid.
Aw,
Fucking lay off
I
him,
like
huh?
Phil.
He was really popular.
Did he have chest hair and a shirt that was open with a little gold necklace?
Probably.
I hope so.
I fucking
I'm
like
horny.
This. I like this kid.
How
Me
old
too.
is he? 12?
Our guest is
Right
getting
now.
horny.
Yeah, he's taller than you.
Hey,
so
it
it's,
ain't-
it's perfect.
That's all that matters.
You can wear heels and everything.
Can you carry me? Fine, it'll work.
But he wanted more. Collinwood was filled with professional thieves, the kind who could beat alarms and crack safes. At 16, he started hanging out with the big
Oh,
boys,
he wanted next level.
Oh man.
acting as a lookout/doorman at their local card games. The move quickly paid off when an up-and-coming mafia enforcer took Phil under his wing.
Oh, he found the mentor he'd always
And
looking
he had
at.
wings. What
I
it's
don't think
a
it was
guardian
I
angel.
don't think it was literal, but yes.
He gave Phil a set of master keys, the kind that dealerships use to have access to all the cars in their lots.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
This is the thing you could do back then to be like, yeah, here's just the key for all the cars. Have fun.
The Phil and the Furious.
Did they use the keys like from the... Oh. I finally got that. Gone in 50 seconds.
Now
Just trying to. Okay.
Now,
Oh,
when
that's
Phil
great.
wanted to go hooping, he would steal
Stop
a truck to
using that
carry the
term.
tires, and he easily pilfered with his new keys. Soon after, he learned the basics of breaking into a safe with a steel wedge and a sledgehammer.
Of course. You just
Yeah,
go like
as
this.
you
Ding,
do.
ding, ding, and then it breaks.
That's
This led
college for
Phil to his
thieves.
first big score. He put together a crew of teenagers for an after-hours heist of a drugstore.
Keep him away from Jessica.
Drugs.
They climbed on top of the building and cut a hole in the roof before lowering themselves down with a rope.
Oh, Mission Impossible style?
Yep.
Badass.
Oh, man.
Where
that's
Phil
awesome.
cracked the safe open and took the cash, he walked away with his cut of $1,600, about $13,000 today.
That's
Oh, my
pathetic.
God.
Not interested. I thought it was gonna be way cooler. He can buy a Hyundai. Who gives a fuck? Go
I
on.
do. Yeah,
Although
I'd
he's
blow
14.
him.
How old
He's
is he?
still a teenager.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, okay.
You just stole 13. You Mission Impossible into a drugstore and stole 13 grand
The
from a safe.
equivalent of 13 grand.
It's cool. I just
Yeah.
like to get boners off the number
The
figures,
equivalent,
and that
thank you.
didn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
If I can't get hard off the number,
He's
then
just
I'm
going to
like,
waste that money on, like,
Yeah.
more ball game.
leather jackets with cobra
Yeah.
snakes on them, and like, what do Italian kids in that day do?
This is
Yeah.
my Sunday jacket.
Yeah, fuck it. This is why
I
we
made the first tanning salon.
Phil was quickly proving himself as a hungry but intelligent young thief.
hungry for my mother's fucking cooking.
The more established guys in the neighborhood were starting to cut him
apologize.
in, bringing him as a driver on some of the bigger scores.
Oh, like a baby driver.
But when he
Ooh.
graduated high school, he got a job offer that took him in a new direction.
Police officer.
A union, the local ironworkers 17, was going
Oh
through some
my-
growing pains, and the higher-ups needed reliable protection.
Oh.
He's just getting out of high school. He's already getting hired for protection.
Mm-hmm.
We need some protection.
But this is the guys who usually say you need protection and force it on you are actually saying like, nah, but we need some contractors to protect.
Is that how that
Well,
started?
so now long story boring, unions, there was a whole bunch of violence going on with unions.
Yeah.
And the union bosses needed bodyguards because people in the unions would get pissed off at them.
This is in the late 50s, right?
Wait, the union.
This
like,
is in the early 60s right now.
Okay. That's
like the
same as
union
late
bosses
50s.
were trying to not do union things, and then the union people would attack them.
There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with union stuff, but basically, like, jobs would come up and down, the amount of jobs that were available.
Yeah.
And people would argue over those jobs, and certain people would get preferential treatment. It'd be a whole thing.
Yeah, fuck you, I make a better wage slave.
Yeah. His friend Al
Phil.
Walsh got him a job doing protection for the bosses. The money was better than driving for robberies, so Phil soon found himself protecting the bosses at rowdy union meetings.
What does this guy look like? Is Phil a buff dude? Is he like what, like a strong Italian
decent-
guy?
I bet his
Yeah.
skinny and he wears like really long ties.
But like when he punches someone, there's so much conviction that it knocks a motherfucker
yeah,
down.
I don't know
Okay.
why I'm picturing Roberto Benigni.
'Cause
I'm
they're all
sure
fucking
that's not
horny
what he
over there in
looks
the
like.
corner.
No, he's actually a pretty good-looking guy.
Hey, Roberto Benigni's hot.
You're just picturing your sexy picture of this criminal right here.
Yeah.
Was he the guy in The Pianist? I don't know which one Roberto
I don't
Benigni
know.
is.
Have you seen La Vita e Bella?
Nope.
Life is Beautiful. It's that Italian film.
I've seen Life is Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I said it in Italian
Oh,
because I had
God.
to. Oh no, not only
These
because
uppity Alaskans always using their
No.
foreign
I've never heard
languages.
anyone call an Alaskan an uppity, but yes.
no, I had to watch it in Italian class, so I'm never sure what the actual name of it is.
took
They had
Italian in high
Italian
school?
class in Alaska?
No, it was in Florida, even trashier.
Okay,
I took
yeah.
French in high school, and then I got to Florida, and I was like, I should have learned Spanish. And then when I found out I had to take a language, I was like, ooh, Italian.
Did your,
yes.
your family just moved? Did you just move from like the corner up here? You're like, other corner.
Oh, I just graduated and was like, bye, losers.
Oh, yeah. you can stay in your
You were
fucking
like,
igloo.
I want to leave the cold but still feel culturally comfortable. Let me go to Florida.
I was like, where can I go that's far away, but still people will be like, wow, she thinks she's better than us.
Yep.
Enjoy your fishing. I'm going where they film Bang Brothers.
Phil was able to
like turning
skip
him-
apprenticeship and go straight to being a full union member. He got choice placements on construction jobs, making good money. He got married in 1964, had a kid a year later. He had enough extra income to partner with some friends on buying a local bar. He had family, money, and security. Life was good.
Cheers.
Well, so everything's fine then.
But that wouldn't last.
Oh, no.
As the union troubles came back and Phil was called to calm down a few disturbances.
This
Does
is when
that
things
mean
get
kill
serious.
people?
Yeah.
So it
Intimidate.
doesn't mean kill people. Long story boring. I cut out this whole side plot. There was this one guy who was an agitator and kind of a douche who kept on who carried a gun and threatened people a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And
As you
Phil's
do.
half of what Phil had to do was stop this guy from shooting his bosses a whole bunch, and it
Jesus.
turned into a bunch of craziness.
What a fun job.
I would
Which-
be really stressed out, actually.
Yeah.
I just want to live and see my bar come to life.
A
and
few
you guys are trying
a
to
few weeks later, someone blew up his 1965 Chevy Impala.
blew it up.
Yeah,
oh
exploded
my
it.
God. They were trying to kill him.
Oh yeah. He also found some guys like trying to rig his other car at his house to blow up, and he got into a gunfight with them. It's a whole thing.
So have unions just been like mafia kind of thing since the very beginning? Like, if you're not saying that unions are all run by the mafia, but just like.
But they probably are.
But have they just been like, yeah, maybe they are.
Or maybe just on the coast. Is the mafia everywhere?
Yeah, there's mafia here in Los Angeles.
Are they right here now? Wink if one of you guys
building.
is in the mafia. Oh, yeah, we are. This is like a mafia.
Yeah, the
Coming to you from the basement dungeon of the Comedy Store.
used
Are
to
we
be
all in the mafia?
like just by proxy, just because of the ghosts that were around right now.
Could
Jessica
you be
Michelle,
in the mob
it's
and not
it's
know?
a great. I have some news for you. Today is your big day.
Oh my God, am I gonna get gang banged against my will?
No, here is
Wink. I want it.
That's not Jew-Italian
That's
mafia.
it's all
you have to go
part-
down south of the 10 for that kind
What
of.
do I
for
have
that kind
to
of jump
do?
in. Here's a
Do I have to
gun.
balance a checkbook?
Yeah.
Then I can't be in the mafia. I thought I wasn't gonna have to do this kind of shit if I was a criminal.
She's out.
The accountant of the mafia.
I thought this was all about gangbangs and go on with your stories.
Person who thinks like I'm gonna become a gangbanger, they think they're gonna get fucked a lot, and they're like, guns. What do you mean we have
This
guns?
is, I
Is
did
that
get
you
laid,
put them
but I
in
got
me?
it.
I'm
Yeah.
not even sure what we're doing
Are
here.
you fucking me with the guns?
That's a very unlubed gun for this to be going. This gangbang going down the way
I got
you.
this tattoo under my eye. It's really not the thing.
a
Same
drop
thing I
of
thought.
semen.
Yeah, I actually don't get to have a lot of sex. I'm usually running from the
You
cops.
walk and see someone with like some guy with like 15 teardrop tattoos. You're like, man, that guy's gotten bukkakied a lot. This
It's
is
just all cum.
That's a disgusting joke on something so serious and sacred as sex.
How dare
Gangbang sex.
Phil was feeling the squeeze
gangbang lovemaking.
of less
That's
work
the next level.
and more violence. So he did the only thing that made sense and went back to stealing.
After his car was blown up, he's like, I don't want any more of this.
Oh, he's still working for them, but he's like, they're not making me enough money for all this, so I better go steal
You don't
too.
pay me enough to blow up my fucking car.
Where did he start stealing from?
Well, he was able to skip the union apprenticeship. He knew he needed more skills to make it as a thief, so he sought out the best teachers in the area. Luckily for him, Collinswood and nearby Youngstown, Ohio, were both filled with the best in the business.
Of
Gandhi.
thieves? Gandhi the thief? He did. He stole a lot of time through meditation. But what I'm asking here is he found a fucking mentor in thievery?
Tons. There was a thief,
Can we
there
do
was a
that right
thief
now?
Culture.
He
Yeah, let's go.
wasn't the best already.
Podcast over. Let's go steal shit.
You guys, I think about it every day. I saw Oliver Twist on stage in
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
I could be a thief.
You can be a pickpocket, I feel like. You have
I
small
feel like,
hands.
yeah, and
Oh my
I'm,
God.
I'm
She would be a hilarious
unsuspecting.
pickpocket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're unassuming.
Excuse me, mister. Do
Yeah,
you know
that's
where
the
the
word.
tanning
God, I
place
think I'm
is?
having a stroke. Yeah. Except for the arthritis, my little clawy hands would get like stuck in pockets, and I'd be like, oh,
You're like, no, it was just
this isn't my medication.
No, that would be your,
And then-
that'd be your excuse. It was a spasm! As the cops are dragging you
oh
away
my
with
God,
a full hand
that's
of
a
stuff.
great point.
Right?
You
This is a good
guys.
plan. Hey, people listening, don't rat us out because this is what we're doing next.
My name is Herbert Beardsley, and I was never on this podcast.
Oh, Herbert, you're so funny.
rhymes with
Phil
sherbet.
quickly learned the basics of beating alarms and boosting safes, but he needed practical experience. So
It's that, the old if you want a job, you gotta have experience. But how do you get the experience?
without the job first. So Phil rented a room in a private club and set up his own fake business.
Steal it till you make it.
Then he got ADT to install their top-of-the-line alarm system. Now he had his own practice room.
Really?
A place where
He
he
just
could
set up a fucking practice alarm system?
Well, he got ADT to actually install an alarm system, and he would practice trying to beat the system.
ADT's been
And if
around
he
that
accidentally
long?
tripped the alarm, as an excuse, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm the business owner. It was a false alarm. I accidentally set it off."
Oh wow!
So he was just practicing.
And they
on...
must have been like, "What a bonehead! This guy keeps tripping the alarm."
We got that weird Italian customer again. House alarms going off like crazy.
Okay, Phil. It's I'm happy that you're with a customer with us, but I want you to look at this box again.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So you see these numbers here?
Yeah, I see all the fucking numbers.
We made a really easy code for you. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the most basic code. It's not going to help you, but you won't forget it.
Well, I got to warn you fellas, I'm pretty forgetful. So, I appreciate the
What if we
lesson,
just
but I'm
make it
probably
lots
going to
of
forget.
ones? Just come up and press 1 until it stops. Does
Yeah,
that
I
work
could do
for
that,
you?
So I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Fine. I'll see you tomorrow.
Good, because I got to fucking practice.
Phil put together a real 4-man crew. Mario and Herman were reliable
course.
guys.
Yeah, as soon as you said Mario, I was
Sorry,
like,
Ah, he's a reliable guy.
Mario and Herman.
No Luigi, always getting shafted.
Big Pussy and Tony and all the rest of the guys from that TV
Herman,
show.
how did he get in there? Mario and Herman.
Jews.
What was Herman's nickname?
Jews and Italians have a long-standing history of doing dope shit together.
Oh, is that why you can't tell them apart sometimes?
Yes. Yeah, we're just both Mediterranean-ish type.
I'm Herman, and I'm a part of the team.
I'm in the mafia.
the mafia.
Let me. Yeah.
Mario and Herman would question Phil, would execute Phil's orders without question. The final member, Charlie Brockle, was a little different.
Hey, broccoli.
Broccolo, hey. Charlie was reckless. First, he was a gambler. He once took home 30 grand from a heist, and by morning lost it all on a Greek dice game.
Oh, Charlie sounds like my mother.
Wow, double wow.
He took uppers to stay awake at night and drank to take the edge off the uppers.
Sounds like everybody's mother.
He always carried a gun and had no trouble using it, once shooting a guy in the leg for talking to his girlfriend.
Sounds like everybody's mother's mother.
It's the man of my dreams.
But Charlie was also fiercely loyal, and he soon became Phil's partner and best friend.
So he's a trouble fucking making dude that takes a lot of risks, but also a great dude that you can't say get the fuck away from me because you love
like
him
if he's
too.
on your side, you're
Sure.
like, well, I'm not going to piss him off.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing too. Yeah, I see where this is going. Charlie's gonna
they're
cause some fucking
lovers.
problems into people's lives.
In 1965, Phil and his union buddies were subpoenaed by a grand jury in connection with the problems from the Iron Workers Local 17. The union attorney instructed them to plead the fifth to every question, which Phil did, even when the bailiff asked him to swear on the Bible to tell the truth.
Oh, Phil, what would your mother think? My little
like-
Philly.
It's not even a question. They're just like, put your hand on the Bible. So you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. I plead the fifth.
On swearing just
That's
to tell the
so
truth.
funny.
Yeah.
Right.
I plead the fifth. What?
That's apparently the whole, like, everyone looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing? The jury just started laughing.
The alarm people were there, like he is such a fucking idiot. This guy.
You could do that, though. Man, now I know what I'm doing.
The ADD.
Stolen. I would never steal your bit, Phil. I'm just kidding.
The
What a great
last straw
bit.
came
We're all doing that bit if we ever have to.
when a disgruntled union worker
Phil can kiss our
again
ass.
blew up his, this time blew up his bar.
So shit's getting blown up a lot.
Too
Yeah.
far.
Where are these guys
Wait,
getting
where
their
are they
bombs
located
from?
again?
This
New
is
Jersey?
in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I just made up New Jersey because I was like, they sound trashy.
There's Italians.
Cleveland.
You can
Oh.
take them out of New Jersey, but you can't take the New Jersey out of them. They go
There
to Cleveland.
you
It's the same
go.
thing.
Oh my
Got
God, they blew
him.
up the bar.
It's the same fucking thing.
The cushy union job had become more dangerous than a life of crime. Phil left the iron workers to focus on burglary.
So he's just like, I'm out. I can't mess with you sloppy fucking people blowing shit up. No one blows up a burglar.
Yep. Now here's an important thing.
A cheese
the word
burglar.
burglary is really important for this show.
It's hard to say
because
too, isn't it?
burglary.
Burglary.
Boogery.
Bugatti.
Booglery. I
It's a
love
nice
the
car.
idea of no one actually knowing what that word is.
Burglary.
And he, a life of
I'm a
booglery.
booglar.
He's a burglar.
Barugala.
But what?
I'm a rugula.
Oh, now we're back to Jews again.
That's
A regular.
That's a leaf.
Oh no, that's true. Wait.
You eat arugula. It goes in salads.
Which one's the sweet pastry? It's arugula.
What?
There's a Jew.
Jew pastry?
Super Jew. You know more about Judaism than I do.
Arugula?
It's arugula. It's
Baklava?
Are you thinking of the
not
yeah.
baklava. No, you guys, listeners, fucking send us an email and
matzo
prove me
ball
right.
Soup.
I'm talking about a cookie that's Jewy.
Oh, is it the hat cookie? You know, the triangle hat.
That's called a hamantaschen.
Yeah.
Also known as the Illuminati symbol.
Yes.
That's why we're part of that myth.
Boom.
Boom!
So it's burglary, not robbery, because they break into unoccupied places and
Robbery,
steal
someone has
stuff.
to be there that you're robbing.
Yeah, robbery.
Like, it's like mugging.
Exactly.
Oh wait, so it's not robbery
It's burglary.
if nobody's there.
Exactly.
Burglary's nicer because you're not endangering somebody's life unless you steal a dialysis
Yeah.
machine. But like you're being...
And they're expensive, so I get it.
Yeah, but...
Well, that dialysis black market is just booming these days,
All right.
guys.
You-
My God, that's a whole other podcast I could talk about for hours.
Over the next
the
4
dialysis
years,
hour is coming out next week on iTunes.
Bagoolery.
Over the next 4 years, Phil led his team to glory, taking down businesses all over the country. They
But did he
finally-
lead them to a
country.
glory hole?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All over the
very
Any
immature.
hole is a glory
Hey,
hole if you're
fellas,
Phil.
put your meatball sandwich through this one, huh?
Hey!
See what happens, huh?
I didn't know what a mayonnaise.
That's,
know what I
that's
mean.
disgusting. There's a guy on the other end that's all
It's
bummed
Alfredo
out.
sauce.
They said it was this. Oh, God. If I could come Alfredo sauce, that actually probably would be pretty good.
Oh, if Ben could come Alfredo sauce, I would never stop sucking dick, and I'd be so fat.
Yeah. Me too, actually.
That's all I'd cook, too,
I'd be
is
like,
Alfredo.
look,
I'd be
I
like,
know
just make
that-
it so- yeah.
I know it's a
Make
dick,
it a
but the
pasta.
sauce is just worth it.
Oh God.
Oh, it's so worth it.
Everywhere.
What would be your number one thing if you could shoot it out of your penis? What would it be?
Ooh, money.
Lasers?
Money?
Oh.
I think money's probably the best thing.
Yeah, if I could.
Although fucking would be kind of weird.
I mean, an actual money shot. That'd be the greatest.
Change or actual
Change would
bills?
be really funny.
As long as it didn't hurt to shoot the
Was
change
all
out.
like you
Bing,
just-
bing, 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 bing.
You-
Like
you-
a slot machine.
You go to a genie.
When you come, ding, 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 ding. And a guy from the casino like walks over to you, like from wherever you are. He just comes in your room and fucking.
You go to a genie and you're like, genie, I'd like a wish. He's like, oh, what would you like? And you wish for coming money. And then you start coming. You only come pennies. He's like, we should have been more specific.
Oh,
now you just come pennies
fucking
forever.
asshole genie.
You're like, damn, I gotta jerk off like 50 times a day just to be able to pay the meter.
All
This
right,
is
go on with the
ridiculous.
story. This is ridiculous. Pennies. You took my fantasy and you turned it into pennies. I made $700 last year coming. Who fucking cares, right?
What about ice cream?
If
Never
it's-
mind.
What
Keep
if it's
going.
1 penny at a time? You're like, this is weak.
Oh, and then just a penny rolls out.
It doesn't even shoot out. It rolls
just
out.
like
You're
drips
oh,
out.
A penny come
Okay.
is a penny earned.
We gotta get off of this riff.
They took down business
sick
all over the country.
fuck.
They find a place with cash or jewelry and good escape routes.
Speaking of
Phil would
pennies.
jump out the alarm system, preventing an outgoing signal. The team would check police scanners for a call, and when none came, Phil and Charlie would go in and break the safe by drilling the lock or burning off the door with a blowtorch.
God damn.
Then they'd escape in an untraceable stolen car.
Ooh.
Badass classic fucking burglars.
Yeah, like
They
old
call 'em a
school.
Torches, fucking shutting off the alarm, leaving in a fucking getaway car.
They'd call these getaway cars, by the way, a Joe Blow. I
Joe
don't-
Blow.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Joe Blow.
Yeah, that's what they call
That
it.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It does?
No, but I feel like I've heard that phrase, and that's probably what it. That's
Yeah.
probably not what it meant.
G.I. Joe Blow.
Despite his success, the Cleveland PD knew that Phil was up to no good. They put
We're
his
on
photo.
to you, Phil.
They put his photo everywhere, instructing people to call if they saw him. They couldn't pin him with the robberies, so they needed to follow him and catch him in the act.
So they already like they knew something was up with him. Like he had been connected with the stuff. Like he's always in the
Yeah.
area when this stuff goes on. What's
Yeah.
going on?
They were
So
putting
Phil
pieces
got
together.
a fake mustache.
And then it was fine.
He just wore his burglar mask around all the time so no one could see who he was.
This is not suspicious at all. Look at these black and white stripes. I blend in. Let's see. It
The
didn't-
Hamburglar? Like he's already in a jail costume?
Speaking of which, yeah, if he could steal anything, go grab a hamburger.
Why is
right?
he already dressed like a prisoner?
this isn't suspicious at all. It didn't take long. A friend of Phil's invited him on a score, looting a tractor trailer. When the guys broke open the doors, instead of merchandise, they found the FBI.
Ooh,
Serves
you
you
did,
right.
Phil.
One of the robbers tried to flee and took a shotgun blast in the back.
Here comes Charlie.
They can do that?
For a long time, they could. For a long time, it was like,
Death penalty?
the guy's running. Get him so he doesn't run away.
And now they have body cams. Why can't they?
Well, they passed a law that said fleeing wasn't a sign of guilt necessarily.
Yeah.
That must
And
have been a big relief to the
You
Red
can't
Hot
just
Chili
kill people.
Peppers. Am I right, folks? Folks, I will be here all week.
He lives here.
I have nowhere else to be.
He lives
Thank
in the
you.
basement
I
now.
apologize. Go on.
That's
Are you trying to fucking play the
my
bass with your
Anthony
tongue?
Kiedis impression.
It was really bad.
Anthony,
you.
keep it to yourself. I gotta go, folks.
Oh man! Oh,
I gotta flee this fucking podcast. I'll see you guys later. Okay.
I took that one on the chin.
Oh yeah, you
Oh
did.
man, we're glad I wasn't shooting money, right?
Right.
All right, go on.
Phil earned 3 years probation as a result of the sting.
His
But
friend died, and he got 3 years of probation.
one of the guy didn't die.
He
took
didn't
a
die?
shotgun blast to the back, and he didn't die.
Oh, apparently, only one of the pellets actually caught him.
Was it Herman?
Oh.
No.
Oh my God!
I'm dying.
Is this God?
Why did you shoot me?
I'm gonna sue you.
I can't go into the white light. It hurts my eyes, and I think it's giving me a migraine. Complaining as you're dying.
Does anybody have my back brace?
I don't know if the pearly gates, is it free to park there?
Oh, it's gonna be so cold in heaven.
So cold.
It's too cold in heaven. I'm almost wishing I went to hell at this temperature. No one told me to pack a sweater.
The arrest could not slow Phil down. By 29, he had a network of professional criminals working jobs, plus some men on the inside.
Oh my
He
god.
made friends with a dispatcher at ADT, the alarm company,
Oh.
who was able to buy them time when they accidentally tripped the alarms.
Bad fucking ass.
Oh shit.
So he couldn't like turn the alarms off, but he could drag his feet when the alarm tripped.
Yeah,
and that's,
he like now it's even
Now
less
he's got a
suspicious.
window.
Yeah, his friend's like looking at the monitor, like seeing the burglary go on, and then telling everyone, "No, look at monitor 3. Things are crazy." And everyone runs over there, and he's like, "All right,
someone's
Phil."
naked over on that camera.
Yeah.
boobs. People are just getting robbed because someone's like boobs.
Oh yeah, boobs. I think that still happens quite a bit.
Yeah. Thank God for
Titties!
boobs.
Yeah. Was anyone watching out for the terrorists? Titties!
Boobies.
Man, Frank keeps telling me there's boobs over on camera 4. I've been bringing beads with me every time.
There is not one boob on this whole camera.
Frank, where are these titties at, man?
They were just there. You missed them.
You know, just go back over there. You'll see them.
beads for breasts. No one tell them they can't hear you through a camera.
So these are like really dumb. The ADT people are really dumb too.
Probably.
So that's why they totally understood when he was accidentally tripping the alarm off all the time. They're like, well, we get that. 1 is a hard number to remember.
Seriously, like sometimes 1 and 2 they look the same to me.
2's just a 1 bent into a weird fucking shape. I mean, we accept all kinds around here.
Don't even get me started on 3, man.
3 is when things start getting interesting because it's bent into a weird shape, but it's got a little boner in there.
And it kind of looks like boobs.
That's right. But 4.
Boobs.
You said boobs, but in the boo terms.
Man, one time
boobs instead of boo.
I've been throwing beads at number 2 all the time. It won't even turn into a 3.
I'm gonna throw beads at your face. See those titties.
What
Yeah.
happens next? Phil.
He even had
Philly.
some police officers working as lookouts.
So he's got inside
this
men.
is like classic mafia.
There you go,
He
son.
probably gets so much pussy, or he just has sex with Charlie all the time.
Well, I think he's on his second wife by this point.
So that doesn't equal so much pussy. That just means 2. But
But also, he's... I don't know how faithful he is to his wives.
I mean, it'd be weird if he did all these crimes and he's like, no, I'm a faithful man.
that's still. But it
is
might
different,
not
I
even- yeah, everyone's got their limits of how they're faithful and how they're not, right? So you could be a criminal in one sense and then also be a super cool, decent person in other ways.
Just a really great
But also,
husband.
if he's that busy,
Yeah, when do
he's-
you have sex?
if he's that busy, he's just like, dude, I don't got time to fuck.
Yeah, I gotta jerk off in these places I'm robbing.
Yeah,
People have different things. Like
That's actually how he covers up the cameras for the ADT thing. He just comes
just
on.
comes on 'em.
Some-
He's like,
A lot of
"Oh."
criminals like to spray the spray paint on it and just spray off the cameras. I blow a fucking wad at it.
Oh, Philly jerks off.
Yeah, they're all the ADT guys are watching it. They're like, "What's he? Is he pulling out his dick?" Also,
It's that jerk off guy. He's back.
yeah, we can't see the fucking the
Get out of
camera.
the way. There might be boobs
He
behind
blocked
you.
the camera. It's all dripping
The
off,
boobs must be behind the camera.
and it drops off. It drips off right as he runs out the door. Oh, fuck the safe, fellas.
we should have got in there during the 15 minutes he took to actually blow the load in the first place.
Yeah, instead of just sitting here watching him jerk off. Why did we do that?
That was strange.
Why do we do that every time?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of sweat.
I know why.
Sweaty surveillance dudes
Now
at
they're-
ADT jacking off to a dude jacking off.
they have bets on when he's gonna come. 5, 4, 3.
Oh, that's great. Fellas, I'll take the over or the under, whatever makes them come faster. You know what I'm saying?
Yay.
High fives.
With his profile growing, Phil started getting invites to bigger out-of-state scores. One gig was in Los Angeles.
Wait, the criminal world is like taking notice? Like, this guy's making some good hits.
He's on the come
Oh,
up.
he's got like heat.
Yeah, he's got heat.
Oh
He's
my God.
at the ball.
An up and coming criminal. Oh my God. You're
One-
past. Come to Los Angeles.
Well, he even came to his next big gig was in Los Angeles. He got the call to Hollywood.
Every industry comes out here at some
Yep.
point. They're like, you got to go to LA.
They
you
were
really wanna
robbing
make
a
it.
safe
big money
deposit
is.
box company, but halfway through the job, someone tipped the cops.
It's a setup.
They got away with their freedom, but no money. So as a consolation, the guy who hired Phil paid him $2,500 to blow up a dry cleaners.
I thought you were gonna say to blow him.
To blow up town.
Really, a sentence like that could go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
He blew up a dry cleaner.
I should have said to blow up a dry cleaners. That would have been the way
now,
to do that
now
sentence.
you're learning how to be rich.
Thank you, sir. Afterwards, after blowing up the dry cleaner, they went to a topless bar and watched Red Fox tell jokes between dancers.
What?
Okay, that sounds like the fucking best night of any of our lives.
Yeah, right?
I would love that.
And then Red Fox was like, I had to do this hell gig at a strip bar.
These Italian guys kept on throwing cum at me. They said it was the same thing as money. I didn't get it.
I just want to say I love both of your Red Fox.
Is it that he's
impressions.
still just an
That's
Italian
spot-
man? I'm a red
Spot on, yeah.
Fox.
Hola, me llamo Red Fox.
titty bar.
I don't think you guys are okay.
The next job was a big one in Albany, New York. A disgruntled nephew wanted some of his rich uncle's money and was willing to
Classic.
hire thieves to get it. The plan was
What a
simple.
bitch.
The plan was so simple. Phil and his team would cut the alarm and crack the safe, while the other team would blow up telephone company buildings with nitroglycerin to distract the cops.
Wow.
That's so elaborate.
How are they going to make sure people aren't hurt in this?
They don't give a fuck.
I mean, it's like at night.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So then, okay.
But apparently there was union problems
Don't cross
in
that line of
Albany
hurting
as
people.
well. And there was a telephone. There were issues with the telephone union, and there had been some violence.
Yeah.
So like, let's blow up some telephone buildings, pin it on them, and also distract the cops.
Oh man.
These guys are blowing
But there's
buildings up.
nitroglycerin. Like, it's so intense to wrap some guy.
Nitroglycerin. That's just such a like cartoonish thing that like, oh, people really did that.
It feels like it should be in a movie from the 70s,
Yeah.
which this basically
Which
is
it
now.
is- the 70s,
Is
I
it
guess,
nitroglycerin the fucking dry ice? No. What am I?
No, I
no,
don't know.
that's high.
Nitrous oxide? No.
That's high hydro. That's H2O.
Yeah, bruh.
Dry ice is not H2O.
I
It's something
know.
else.
I'm lying.
But I guess
it's
blowing
frozen
up-
carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
It's CO2.
But I guess blowing up buildings is not that great of a decoy.
Blow up with mouthwash?
Because a
What's that?
cop showed up at the house right as they were breaking in. The guys had
They're
their
like, yeah, the other cops are on the building, and we're over here.
We came to steal this old man's money.
The guys had their escape planned. They had pinned up the bottom of a chain link fence to slide under. Phil and one other guy crawled under on their bellies. But Charlie, for some reason, decided to wiggle through on his back.
Oh, no.
It proved to be a bad choice. As the pegs holding up the fence gave out, it whipped down, slicing through his pants and ripping open his ball sack.
Oh, my God. Charlie's balls are everywhere. I knew there'd be cum in this story. I knew it.
It's not the way I'd like to see cum. It should only ever just come out of a penis, not through a ripped open sliced balls.
Neither of you know how cum works, apparently,
I know.
because it does not come from balls. Guys, this is a scientifically
Wait,
accurate
it doesn't
podcast.
come. It doesn't
No, it,
come
it
from the
makes
balls?
it's
The
like
sperm comes from the balls. The
it goes
cum
through the vas
comes from the
deferens.
seminal vesicle.
It goes through the vas deferens.
You're right. I have no idea how cum works.
You guys
Yeah.
want to hear the acute,
Okay,
acute
so Jessica.
I know how it doesn't
Jessica
work
Michelle,
in my body.
a-
I've never been pregnant. Thank you.
Sometimes when a mommy loves a daddy,
I don't know what that's about.
They hug together, and that makes a baby. And part of how that happens.
I came from a sperm bank.
Well done. Proud
That's
of
so
you.
Jewy to come
So
from a
that
bank.
I know.
Yeah. Ugh.
You guys want to hear a cute old one?
Ooh, yeah.
What did the dick say to the balls? There's a vast difference between you and me.
That's a great one. If you-
See?
Go on, folks. Go on with your stuff.
These are the jokes.
I thought we were
So the sperm and the cum are two different things.
Yeah, and they mix together on the way out.
Sperm are the little swimmers, and cum are the pushing the swimmers out.
It's like
Yes.
sperm are the people and cum is the bus.
I forgot where the sperm, where the semen.
Here is the church, and here is the steeple.
Yep.
Open it up, and there's a whole bunch of cum
Yep.
filled with tiny people.
Tiny more people.
I would just said potential people.
Your kid comes home, starts doing that rhyme. Open it up, and here is the cum. Wait. Where did you learn this?
The crime podcast, mommy and daddy. It's 2017.
He's like a villain.
Yeah, this is rated for kids.
Phil carried 200 pounds of bleeding, ball-busted Charlie on his back as
What
they
a
ran
friend.
from the cops.
Did they have one of those doctors that they always have in the movie that like deals with criminals?
Well, hold on, sir.
okay.
They got away and drove him to a hospital in another city.
Good call.
The injury required 14 stitches.
Oh.
14 ball stitches.
Stitch them balls.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie.
The story he told him a story that he was hopping over a fence and there was razor wire and it sliced his balls open.
And they
So-
were like, okay.
Yep.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
the good old days.
Yeah, when you could just lie about that kind of stuff. Nowadays, you get a ripped open sack, you better be honest. They're
In
gonna fucking
19
There's
find
going to be a
out.
lot of questions.
They're gonna find out.
Like, do you
that's-
have insurance?
That's his criminal sack as he's walking away, like dun, 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 like around the corner. He's holding the sack over his fucking shoulders, but it's his balls.
I'm sorry, Mr. Charlie, to tell you this, but your insurance does not cover balls.
I'll fucking pay cash. Just fix my sack, doc.
How much cash do you have?
I don't have it right now, but I'm gonna get it in a couple weeks when I go back to this joint. When I finish my job.
Nurse Ratchet, get the stapler.
Nurse
Hey,
Ratchet.
boo, let me staple up them balls for you.
Sure, lady, just fucking do it quick. I thought Nurse Ratchet scared me initially, but you know what? That sounds like
Here, bite down on this. Not that hard. That's my finger.
I thought it was your dick.
No, I'm not an animal.
a dick animal.
A dick animal.
A Danimal.
By 1971.
Copyright Crime Podcast Danimals. Will there be a new figures that we're coming out with?
By 1971,
Yes?
Phil grew tired of owning a bar.
So that's the end of the ball
But the
thing.
bar
We're
was
good.
already blown up.
We have closure to the ball
They
sack.
fixed it. Yeah, the ball sack's fine.
He's
I
fine.
just thought things were blown to smithereens beyond repair.
Are we gonna have a where are they now with his
the
ball
bar,
sack?
The bar's back. The bar they rehabbed
The
after the
bars
explosion.
are back.
It was
and
on
we're
bar
gonna
rehab?
Be
Yeah.
in trouble.
So everything's fine with the nut sack. For what was his name? Charlie's nut sack.
Yeah, it took him a while to recover. He had to
Chuck's
sit.
balls
he had
are
to
fine.
sit out a few. He had to
Chuck's
sit on,
nuts?
He had to
Chuck's
ride the
nuts.
bench. They put him on the DL for a couple of weeks. That's a sports reference, guys. There you
I
go.
know about sports.
There you go.
I used to say
See
it on the
this
down
one.
Making
low.
sure that Shefsky knows that. Shefsky does not know
Well,
sports at
DL
all.
we used to say down low when I was a
Yeah.
kid. Like put that on the DL.
On the disabled list
Yeah,
or
that's
on IR, injured reserve, depending on which sport you're talking about. What up? Not
You're
only,
not fooling anyone.
Fucking
Rich.
alpha males.
He's like, I
alright?
know sport terms, sperms.
I know sperm terms.
I'm an artsy kid, okay? I didn't play foosball
Look,
like you.
I am a season ticket holder to LA's professional ultimate frisbee team. No joke. I know
That's a
sports.
thing.
I have front row seats to you finishing this goddamn story.
Not only was owning a bar a ton of work, but it gave the cops an easy place to find and harass him. They sent officers to stand in the bar and make sure everyone stopped drinking precisely at 2:30 a.m.
Like undercover officers?
They sent in the fire inspector who closed it down for weeks over code violations.
Ooh.
Then the health inspector came and cited them for not having enough bathrooms on each floor.
So is this the cops? Is this the cops knowing that they can't lock him down on other bad stuff that he's done? So like whatever, like how they alcohol.
They just bully him?
Like, look at his taxes. Look
And
at his
across
fucking
town,
parking.
people were being murdered.
Murder.
But they were like, we got to get this guy who stole
yeah, but it's
$1,600.
Italians
$1,600.
murdering
Butthead.
Italians. Who cares?
Oh my God! This
Just as he was
fucking
reaching his
industry.
limit, Phil got an offer. There were 2 big scores in California, and the crew needed an alarm guy.
Ooh.
When they told him the targets, he quickly agreed. One was the United California Bank in the rich area of Laguna Niguel, loaded with safe deposit
Ooh,
boxes.
Laguna.
Nigga.
Great weather, fucking sand as you can see, broads walking around with
Lots of money.
money everywhere.
The other was the President's Bank that was rumored to hold milk money, a slush fund full of millions in illegal campaign donations from milk farmers to Richard Nixon.
From the milk lobbyists?
Oh, because they
So this
wanted
is just-
dairy things to happen?
Yeah, it was actually
Oh,
originally
yeah.
called Milkgate, and then
Fuck
they changed it to
you,
Watergate because it
dick.
went off the tongue easier.
You can't make a gate
Oh,
out of
really?
milk.
Is
No,
that
Watergate's
true?
the name of the hotel the whole thing went
I
down
was like,
in.
wait, I feel like that doesn't sound right
I like
at all.
lying, despite the fact this podcast is all about truth. So,
You're
Listen.
a bad man.
He is a
you're
very bad
welcome.
man.
Phil and Charlie left to join the crew, but on the way to the airport, Charlie realized he forgot the
My
fake
nutsack!
IDs.
Oh,
He forgot.
I wouldn't go on any more jive back, fellas.
The staples fell out.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Charlie realized he forgot the fake IDs. It was too late to turn back, so Phil, Charlie, and the other 4 team members went ahead and flew to California under their own identities.
Oh,
What a
big,
dumbass.
fucking idiotic.
What a
overly
bonehead.
confident. Fucking, you've been doing it so long, you're about to trip up on something small. Fucking mistake. And
At 10 p.m. on
Just
March
a
24th, 1972, they hit the United California Bank. Phil and a couple others snuck onto the roof and cut a hole. Actually, no, I'm going to back up because I took something out, but now we have enough time to put it back in.
Okay.
is that some sort of
The night-
sex reference?
The night before, on March 23rd, they snuck onto the roof and cut a hole right above the bank vault, and they dropped in to make their way to the phone room to cut off the alarm, and they couldn't find the alarm system. So then they were like, fuck, we have to call this thing. They patched up, they went out the roof, patched it up, and went back to their like condo.
Yeah.
And they thought about it for a while, and Phil realized the problem was that the bank was so confident in being in a rich area that they were still using an old system, a closed circuit
Oh.
system. So the next night they go back in.
Okay.
So he's like, dude, they're not even like it's not
They're
even.
like, they're like, people aren't gonna rob us. This is Laguna Niguel.
No
We're
one robs
good,
anybody.
rich people. People here don't need money. They have money. It's in the bank.
There you go.
That's exactly the voice that the CEO of the bank used.
I'm the CEO. My father, Mr. Bank, does not appreciate
Mr.
this.
Bank. It's like a children's book about bank crime. And then Mr. Bank got his ass fucked for not thinking that the alarm wouldn't get. Okay, go on.
Mrs. Vocal Fry - Bank. We have a problem here. Can you solve it using your great bank skills?
Probably not, but I can try.
So the next night on March 24th, they go back in,
I wanted to play the alarm for a second.
and very quickly Phil finds the closed circuit system. 2 guys outside rush up ladders and knock out all the streetlights. Another sprayed liquid styrofoam in the outside alarm bell to freeze it in place,
that sounds fun.
just in
Liquid
case the system
styrofoam.
set it off. Finally, Phil cut the alarm. Silence. They were in.
Oh, we
To a-
are in.
And this is-
I'm Charlie. I have a fucked up nutsack, and I'm gonna get a bunch of money.
And I'm Phil, and that's what I plan on doing too, but my nutsack's totally fine.
Nutsacks.
Nutsacks. Fill
Put
your
all the money in
sacks
my
up, boys.
nutsack.
Now they could go to work on the vault. They drilled holes in the top to weaken the ceiling, then placed dynamite. They covered the dynamite with 12 big bags of dirt to muffle the sound.
12 big bags of dirt to muffle the sound.
The only thing they heard was a small thud.
And it was Charlie falling to his
Is
death.
Charlie's nuts falling off? I guess they didn't stitch him on right, fellas.
Should have gotten staples at Home Depot instead of over there.
Wait, that's what happened? It was his nuts? No, what was it?
No, it was no. Instead when they blew up dynamite.
Yeah.
Since they covered it with dirt,
It was
didn't
just
make
like
it,
bunk.
it was like muffled. Yeah, it was like.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's like a fart.
yeah. It was a building fart.
We're in, fellas.
They cut through the remaining rebar and dropped into the vault and raided the hell out of the safe deposit boxes.
Yeah.
They found jewelry, cash, bearer bonds,
jewelry. That's a thing. Do people still
and
do
safe
that?
deposit boxes. Yeah.
Put my jewels in the bank, Billy. Billy wouldn't be the name.
That's pretty much what they do.
Wilfred,
Billy, yeah.
find a safe box for my jewels.
Cletus, put the
Cletus.
A rich man named Cletus.
Yeah, Cletus. Now we got all that oil money. Go in there and
I'm Cletus Wells Fargo, and I own this bank.
Cletus Wells.
These are my mother's jewels.
They
Run
also
the jewels.
they also found
The
things
rap album.
like baby shoes, false teeth, and 1 box of human ashes.
False teeth. Human
Baby shoes. Did my mom have a fucking safety
People
deposit
are
box
so
there? Mom, you don't gotta
morbid.
save the baby shoes. I was the baby. I'm happy.
Let's put these ashes in a bank where no one wants your grandma.
Yeah.
I think it's not because I think it's there's floods. There's
Get a
fires.
storage unit, rich people.
I
What
know.
are you doing?
Like you're just like, I'm not that good at keeping my house organized. I don't want to lose the ashes, amongst all the Beanie Babies that I still collect.
Is it funny though? Because
So-
you're like the ashes. Like it's not your friend. Like he's not in there. She's
Yeah.
not in the ashes.
What? It's dust.
Yeah.
I thought it was him.
Mix it with glitter and throw it off a roof
That's so,
somewhere.
That's so insensitive.
Mix it with glitter.
That's how I want. I
fuck
want to
yeah.
go.
I'm getting sprinkled at the Astro.
No,
Factory.
there's like
Actually, I know how you should do it. Is mix it in with one of those glitter bombs and then send it to an enemy and have them get
yeah.
hit with your glitter bomb ashes.
and ashes. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm getting mixed into sex lubes.
I get
that's
that.
a good idea.
That's me.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
I want to be planted with
I
a
don't care. I
tree.
don't care what kind
Oh
of
my
sex I'm
god,
into.
that's so great.
Planted with a tree. You fucking hippie. Hippie alert. Get off the fucking show.
I want to be turned into quinoa.
Just joking. You're super welcome.
And then
there.
fed to the people of Paraguay. I don't know why I
I
chose
just want to
that.
help.
Are they
I want
starving?
to pass it on.
No, wherever quinoa comes from, though, those people are starving. 'cause
Totally.
We're taking, it.
all the quinoa.
It's a real thing.
I
Peru?
like-
I don't know where it's from.
I'm hungry to find out what happens in this story.
Anyways, yeah.
They
let's-
almost got
let's finish.
caught. They almost got caught. A security guard showed up for a couple of minutes, and right as the security guard showed up, Charlie went on like an extreme coughing fit, and didn't even cover his mouth. He's just like,
Charlie's a fucking idiot.
he's a moron.
How can you cough? He just had his ball stitched back too. I bet that hurt. Every
oh,
cough
God,
probably
every
hurt.
cough probably. Oh,
Yeah, every
It's like a
cough is-
sting.
That's why he coughed out loud. That's why he didn't cover his mouth. He didn't want to blow his balls out the bottom side.
probably.
I get it.
That's fucking miserable.
Luckily, the vault was thick enough that the guy didn't hear it, and they took the valuables and they escaped.
Yeah, luckily, the security guard was Charlie's brother, so he had no
Yeah,
idea.
he could have been an inside man.
Is that a cough?
they got
or is that just
everything?
my head?
They got away?
They got away with everything.
They got
Back
it.
at the hideout, it was quickly clear the haul was tremendous. They had over 20 million in bearer bonds alone.
What does that mean?
yeah, but
bearer
what can you do with
bonds-
a bearer bond?
Well,
Isn't it
the-
a piece of paper?
Well, what's good about bearer bonds are like
Berry bonds.
Made out
Great-
of a grizzly bear.
Great athlete.
Arr, bear bonds.
Yeah, then they went and put him into the Major League Baseball. They won a bunch of things. It was great.
What the fuck are bear
It's so
bonds?
weird they found him inside of a safe deposit box.
Can you fence a bear bond?
Yeah, because bearer bonds, the whole point of them is that they are by nature untraceable. They're basically like a paper version of an investment that isn't tied to
So
any.
people get those so they can be doing illegal shit. Why
Essentially.
else would you get a bearer bond?
Yeah, kind of.
I mean,
They're great for avoiding taxes
As a
and for shipping
libertarian,
money overseas
you
and
could-
all.
yeah.
Why are those a thing?
because like you said, maybe it's just a shady thing. But also, I think like libertarians would probably just want them just because they could be like, no one needs to trace my money.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, Ron Paul 2012.
The
Never
total
forget.
haul came in at around $30
2012.
million of cash, jewelry, and bearer bonds. About
That's a lot of dimp.
equivalent of $175 million today.
Oh, I just squirted.
Me too.
Yeah, so did I. Dude, we're
I
all
got
just
my
squirt
dick
happy.
turned into a vagina and then I squirted.
I
It's
made
really
love
weird.
to Rich when you blinked your eye. It's a billionth of a second when you
He's
closed
so
your eyes
good.
because I'm so excited.
It was a
Beautiful.
wild success, and the team headed back to Cleveland.
so much sushi.
And they're like, let's go back to Cleveland.
well, you gotta keep your fucking everything the same for like 20 years, and then you can party.
Phil and Charlie set up a meeting with a fence.
I've seen
What
all the
a
movies.
life. With a fence?
With a fence.
That's when
And
that's
the
when it's not an
person-
actual fence, but that's like when you like sell your
The person who helps get your stolen goods.
the middleman.
The middleman for selling stolen stuff.
So
yeah.
you steal a fucking gold ring. You take it to the fence. The fence guy goes and he's the guy who's like, I know someone will buy this ring right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that you meant a
This
literal
one stood in front of
fence.
a white
It's
picket.
like, man, they're really dumb.
Yeah. This is the Sandlot podcast.
Hey,
it's all about
fence!
what's inside
We've
and
been
outside of
standing
these
here in front of
fences.
this picket fence for 2 hours and hasn't said a damn word.
That's a very dumb criminal, very funny character. Might want to work on it. I like it.
They went to meet with a fence, an old Jew with mafia connections named Shondor Burns.
Shalom.
Mr. Burns.
Smithers.
They went to meet him at a restaurant, quietly waiting at the bar to make contact.
Uh-oh.
Then they heard someone yell from the other end, "Hey, Charlie!"
How's your sack?
It was Shondor. I hear you're doing pretty good. I'll see you later with those things.
What a dipshit.
He yelled this in a public restaurant?
Yeah, in a restaurant. He's just like, hey, I'll see you later with the stuff that you're bringing for me.
This fucking crazy. And this guy's a successful fence?
Apparently.
I think that there was a mistake. Maybe there were two people with the same name. They hired the wrong guy.
Oh, no, you wanted Sean Burns, not Shondor Burns.
Oh, yeah, Shondor, he's horrible. He'll get you caught. He'll
Notoriously
get you
awful.
caught.
Yeah.
He'll get you caught.
He's an
Hey,
idiot.
boys, why don't we take some of that money you just robbed? Go out and get some bagels and lox, huh?
Holy shit, this guy is terrible.
Oh, my God. My wife said I have to be home in like 20 minutes, but I said, hey, honey, can I stay out a little longer? I just am hanging out with these boys that just did a huge robbery.
Burglary.
They're burglars that just graduated to robbery. Who would have thought? It's Meshuggah.
Phil left because this guy had a big mouth.
Yeah, I would too. I'd be like, oh, fuck it. This fucking guy's going to be the fucking end of us all.
Phil, now that he had money, he finally sold the bar. But even with the sale and the California score, he needed actual cash. So back to burglary it was. This
Phil.
time...
Wait. So he couldn't do anything with their bonds yet.
Yeah, the bearer bonds are just like, we have 20 million in bearer bonds.
There
What
were
the
no
fuck?
other fences.
Yeah,
it was just
they're
Shondor.
still trying to figure out how to turn the bearer bonds
How
over.
fucking frustrated would you be if you had $20 million and you're like, but I just got to go do some burglary jobs now because I can't fucking get the access to the
That's
20.
why crime
How
doesn't
fucking-
pay.
How frustrating. I mean, well, it does a lot
It
of
does
times, but a lot of
often.
it does pay.
Very much so.
It's
How
sad
much crime
because it's
do
crazy.
people get away with?
It's fucking
Statistically?
nuts.
It's insane.
It's nuts.
And
You-
here's the thing: is the ones who don't get away with it, it's usually because they're so stupid. You're like, oh, this must mean that for the one guy who got caught, there must be 10 who don't get
Who
caught.
don't get caught.
Oh,
I
there
mean,
is-
every time I watch any type of crime show, I'm like, oh, well, here's how you do it.
That's
And
what
you're
makes
like,
you think but that's what makes you think no one gets away with it because you see the crime thing or you hear about so and so got arrested for so
Well,
and
it's
so.
like, yeah, but they're
We
only
did
showing
an
the ones where-
episode with Ian Edwards about this cannibal guy who
Nostalgic episode reference alert to our listeners.
who met
Sorry.
another guy who wanted to be eaten on the internet, and they got together and he ate the guy.
I remember hearing about this.
And then he didn't get caught for a year. He didn't get caught until he started bragging about it on the internet and posting pictures of it and then trying to find a new person who would be willingly eaten.
He might have gotten away with
And
it
someone
forever.
turned him in. He would have gotten away with it fine if he had just been like, cool.
Yeah, I think about that all the time with like people who don't have like close family. It's like, well, if they get, or like if, like there's people like if they got murdered, nobody is looking for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know
there's
many of them.
or it's just simple
And
that
they
like if you're not a high profile case, like the cops could just be like they're
Yeah.
just burdened. They're like busy or they're burdened with a lot of cases.
It's
like,
too
all right.
much. It's not someone fancy.
Yeah, you have to pick your stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man.
This time they robbed a bank in Lordstown, Ohio that held payroll cash for General Motors. They made off
Ooh.
with $500,000 in cash, no need for a fence. They were back on top.
But they just couldn't quit.
Back in California, the cops had never seen a bank job like this before. They were used to
I've
robberies.
never seen a bank job like this.
So people are used to robberies like with guns.
Robberies, but not burglar robberies.
Burglaries.
Yeah.
Burglaries. They don't know how to. There's a burglar. A burglar.
Hey, Chief, I've never seen this word before. What the fuck is this?
I am the chief sheriff.
Damn it, I'm the chief.
Deputy of Laguna Niguel Police Department, and we have never seen a burglar like the burglar.
I'm the chief from Los Angeles, and I can tell you one
Burglar.
thing. They're talking about a Jewish pastry. Fucking Jews.
So they
And
started.
then he goes
looking-
off on an anti-Semitic like tirade. And you're like, geez, thanks for the info, Chief.
Didn't know that about you.
Yeah, he's actually Jewish. He's allowed to
I'm
say that.
rescinding your Passover invitation. So they started looking over case files from all over the country and got a lead. Similar jobs had been done in the East, and one of the suspects was Phil Christopher.
Ooh, Philly Chris.
The Lordstown job turned out to be the big turn in the California case. Before that, the connection was just theoretical, but the similarities between the two solidified it. The FBI turned over every stone, including checking all the flight records between the Midwest and LA.
It's them flights.
Bingo. Charlie and those damn
They
IDs.
really do catch him on these like paperwork things that you're like, they're just checking the same thing that you or I would check if we were trying to find our friend or we're like,
They
where
would
did
have
they
been
go?
fine.
They're just going online and being like, hey, his Snapchat just said he was over in Laguna.
And you
know?
could never even fly with a fake ID anymore.
Yeah. But
Could you?
then, actually, this
You'd
this
probably just
time,
have to have, like, a
around
fucking
this time, they
super
had
weight.
just
It'd be
started
harder to get the
requiring
kinda-
IDs because this is during a time when there's a bunch of plane hijackings. So they had just started requiring IDs for flights.
Oh, you used to just be able to walk onto a flight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
buy a ticket.
Countries
It's like
start
a
off
bus.
freer and then they get like progressively more and more like just like, geez, I can't do anything because like anytime a new thing happens, like, well, now we
Like,
need to
we need-
regulate this.
Now we need a man living in your home watching you
Oh
for
my
24
God.
hours.
But it stimulates the economy because we've hired so many men to wait in your
We've
home.
created jobs.
Government-
He's jerking off in my house
Government
again.
babysitters? Like you curse and you get a ticket? That was Islamophobic.
My
ticket.
babysitter is
Oh
double
my
plus.
God!
cursed.
Wait, that
Ticket.
might be where we're headed. I'm so
Oh,
afraid.
yeah, dude. Well, it'll be with robots, though, not with regular people. We're going to be fine. I'm scared. I'm fucking terrified. I'm
The
I want
FBI
word
followed
tickets.
the trail of the flights to LAX and interviewed every cab driver until they got an ID. They followed the driver's logs to find the condo.
They interviewed every cab driver until they got an idea. I mean, they're
Until they found
relentless.
someone-
this is the FBI, though.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers are thorough. They're not gonna
Yeah,
fuck
and there's
around.
a lot of money at stake when rich people are
$30
upset.
million.
Yeah, we're like,
Oh, yeah.
my jewels, my only heirlooms, and they're like, we have to get on the case. This woman won't shut
He
the
stole
fuck up.
my false teeth and my baby shoes.
Detectives are sitting there. They're like, the
that
witnesses.
one creepy guy. It's like the ashes in my false teeth.
The ashes are gone.
Sir, we're gonna find your false teeth as soon as we can. Let's talk to the $30 million lady again. I think that's the case I want to
The
take.
ashes were in the baby shoes.
Yeah, we're working on the baby shoes, sir. Okay, find the $30 million lady. I want to work on that case.
They followed the driver's logs to find the condo, but the place had been cleaned, except for one spot.
The toilet had blood on it from
Charlie
Charlie's
had
balls.
come in the corner.
They forgot to run the dishwasher.
Ah,
The FBI lifted prints from the glasses and plates.
Fucking idiots.
fucking. This is so dumb.
They're so pro, but they forgot to run something as simple as like run the
Men
This is
are
why when you
slobs.
rob, you use paper plates.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Fucking Charlie. Oh, let's make some spaghetti.
And now, since they're already watching this guy and they've seen that they traveled, they're just gonna fucking match prints. It's a no-brainer now. You take out the old fucking free cup from McDonald's. You brush it with that stuff. You fucking take the print.
And that's the end of Cleveland Phil.
On June 2nd, 1972, the FBI arrested Phil at his home on charges of violating his parole. The next day, he was indicted for the bank job. He was housed in the Youngstown County Jail.
Wait, so they did match the prints?
Yeah, they got it all.
Wait, he was on parole?
Yeah, he was already on parole for that previous robbery,
okay.
like with the FBI agents inside the
So
van.
he wasn't supposed to leave.
Wasn't supposed to leave the state.
So he just
Philly.
fucking. Oh, dude,
On a parole.
that is such a fucking amateur
Violation.
mistake. He probably hated himself for that.
Oh, sure.
I fucking hate myself for that. Fuck. My
He was-
mother's cooking, and they don't have that in the big house. Fuck. Dog.
Actually, he was housed in the
Fuck,
Youngstown
dog.
County Jail awaiting trial, which turned out to be kind of a party. He had wine, scotch, and a silk pillowcase.
What
He
the
had
fuck?
friends
What
visit-
jail is this? I want to request to go there if
Yeah,
I
that
ever
sounds
get
better
arrested.
than all of our places.
He had
Yeah.
friends visit whenever he wanted, and even had his wife stay over for a
My
few
friends
nights.
won't even visit me now.
He was paying off the cops.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's how every
And his
time
wife
someone
stayed
with
with
money
him.
gets.
I'm gonna get you out of here, Philly.
Dude,
oh
anyone,
my
if you
God.
could go to jail and
This is
still
wife number
fuck and
2.
get some decent food, that's fucking like, you're like, oh, that was worth
And
the
you don't
risk.
have to pay rent? Fuck that. I want to go to
know.
jail.
Charlie, on the other
Decorate
hand,
the walls however I fucking want.
Charlie, on the other hand, was
Myself?
still a free man. He tried to run some jobs of his own,
But he's an idiot.
But he
But he was too
got
much of
his-
a fuck up.
He got his nuts caught on other things.
so he got caught trying to burgle a bowling alley.
What a dipshit.
Why would you want to hurt a bowling alley? They're so fucking amazing.
They gave him 20
He
years.
just slipped on a bunch of bowling balls. Like, oh!
He just has a pickup truck full of pins.
He
I
tried
shouldn't
to-
have put these bowling balls on the floor before I started my robbery.
He tried to run and he slipped on one of the lanes and just got like stuck in where the
That
pins are.
is a great Zach Galifianakis movie
Charlie,
premise.
what? Charlie, what are you doing? We have to go,
Whoa!
dude. I'm gonna break 200. I've been at this game.
Hang on, let me
the
get
cops
these bowling
handcuffed-
alley nachos before we hit the road.
The cop handcuffs him right as someone gets a strike. The cop's like, strike.
It's perfect. We got to write this.
They
We just
gave-
did. It's we'll have
Oh,
someone take the-
Charlie bowling balls.
They gave Charlie
That's a good
20
point.
years,
The
but
metaphor.
then he flipped for immunity. After 13 months of trials all across the country, Phil, labeled by the papers as the Mission Impossible bank burglar,
Oh, good call.
Nice work,
Fuck yeah.
Shefsky.
Well, I'm just as low hanging fruit as the rest of the writers at the New York Times.
Phil
And
got
Charlie's
20
balls.
years in federal prison.
Ooh, he almost like traded his sentence. He's like, you give the 20 to him. I'll tell you who he is.
He did everything. I'm just a buffoon.
He traded in his friend who fucking helped him out when his nuts
When
were
his
at their
nuts
worst.
split open.
I was at my
Charlie's
lowest.
a fuck
I was at my
bag.
lowest.
What's
He's a
his
fuck
last
bag. Is that
name?
what you called him?
Yeah.
Brockle, I think is his last name.
Charlie Brockle, if he's out there.
Charlie Barack Obama broccoli fuck bag. What's his last name?
Burglary.
Burglary.
In
He's Italian
1973,
for a regular.
Phil arrived at Terre Haute, Indiana.
Ooh.
As soon as he arrived, he had friends because of his mafia connections. They had TVs in the cells and plenty of activities to stay busy. It wasn't too bad considering it was federal prison, except
damn.
for the murders. There were a lot of them.
People get murdered in prison?
In Phil's first
Yeah,
year,
what
there
kind
were
of jail
7.
do people kill? Wow.
Wait, Phil, what?
In Phil's first year, there were 7 murders in the jail.
Every other month, right?
Is it other inmates or is it
Yeah, you had to stay
Cops.
vigilant. Most people got caught at 6 a.m. when the cell doors automatically opened. Someone would rush their room and kill them. Most of the guys...
How did they just beat them to death? How do they kill them?
Oh,
What
they
the heck?
shift
Shit,
them.
mostly shanks.
You
Shit.
sharpen a
yeah.
toothbrush and you put it into someone's gut.
Most guys wedged their doors closed when they slept at night. On the flip side, after every murder, the jail got steaks.
I was gonna say it's bad. We're all gonna have a pizza party.
The prison's way of calming the herd.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was essentially a prison pizza party to be like,
But aren't
hey,
you-
there was a murder. Everyone chill out.
Aren't you encouraging murders? Are you like, dude, I'm low on iron
I
deficiency.
need more steak.
Can
That's a good
someone
point.
kill Billy?
There was one man just killing because he loved steak so much. He's like, I must have another steak.
What if the steak was made out of the
Medium
people that
rare.
died?
Oh my God! What if
No.
it is?
The cannibal jail.
Oh my God! Just made out of the prisoners.
But Phil was smart and steered clear of the violence. He made a point of doing his prison jobs well and making a good impression on the staff.
kiss ass.
It didn't take long to earn parole, serving
act like you
only
wouldn't do
3
that also.
years of his 20-year
Only
bid.
3 years.
On the outside, Phil immediately got a job as the right-hand man to Robert Hughes, the chairman of the Cleveland Republican Party.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What year is this? Do we know?
73, I want to say.
The guy
No.
got.
Bob
This- yeah, yeah.
Hughes.
How did he get out of jail
This
for
is
fucking bank robbery?
76.
This should be played
Because
on.
politics is fucking robbery.
How did he get out of jail for? That's, I guess, the best way to
Well,
put it.
it was burglary, first of all, so there's no violent crime attached to it. And
Oh, I agree. I respect that. But
Yeah.
but
but also, so like he ended up doing, I think, 3 or 4 years of his time. I think 4 years of his time, and it wasn't like he was just
was a good
super
prisoner.
well behaved. And
If
so,
you're
Yeah.
well behaved, people are like,
so his first parole hearing, he
you're a
didn't get
burden
parole.
on the system if we keep you here.
Yeah, they were like, we need to make room for murderers.
For worse
or-
criminals.
oh no, you guys are answering the wrong question here. I totally understand how he was up for parole. How the fuck did he get a job
With the Republican Party?
with a party of with a
Oh, I know.
with a reputation of
The
respect.
reputation of a saint.
oh dude
You can't trust politics.
No, you
Oh,
can't.
dude. or politicians,
Politicians.
right? Did I say that right?
Phil was only
Are they
out.
Armenian?
They would be politicians.
Politicians.
Politicians are very trustable, bro. Go on with the
Phil
story.
was only out for a couple of weeks before a
I'm a
reporter got.
hack.
Phil was only out for a couple of weeks before a reporter got wind of his release and ran an article titled "Super Thief Out on Parole, Loot Still Missing," complaining he'd only served 4 years.
Oh.
The reporter
And that
kept running
woman was
articles
like,
on him
"My
every single
jewels."
day.
Every day. Oh, so the reporter had a mission.
Apparently, the reporter called him before the first article ran
The
to get a
original
quote, and he
Twitter.
wouldn't give a quote. The feds caved,
Old
and
school
after just
trolling.
19 free days, he was sent back to Terre Haute.
Just because of this one reporter? Mm-hmm. That's like the
They
original.
rescinded his parole.
Oh, so he got out of politics too.
Yeah, right.
That's like the original tweeting someone until they get fired.
Yeah. Going to Africa. Hope I don't
Get
yeah, that-
AIDS.
Yep.
Oh
Oh,
God.
don't even get me started on that one.
Yeah.
That's an angering case.
Yeah. No, they gave her something worse than AIDS. A career death.
I don't know if that's worse than AIDS.
It's not?
I don't know. There's pill for HIV, but not AIDS.
True.
I don't know if we're arguing the
God.
point.
Do you remember her name?
No.
Then she's probably fine.
She
No
never
one
wanted to
does.
be famous. She actually had a small Twitter account, and she was just riffing. And she actually was like a volunteer that went to Africa and was doing a lot of good. So she was just having a dark sense of humor. And
She
they,
probably
basically what they did was
has a job now. though.
people that were easily offended by words basically took someone.
I hate
someone
them.
They took someone out of the game that was actually doing good in the world. So
I
good
hate-
job, social justice warriors. Good job. We
It's
commend
the
you from
worst when
crime.
people
Yeah.
attack. It's like that's a good person.
Yeah. Fight the enemy, not the
focus
fucking.
on the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
Oh, yeah.
let's go back to Phil.
Let's just go back to
Within
Phil.
weeks-
I'm
Philly
getting fucking
cheese.
mad.
Within weeks, life kicked Phil in the balls again.
Oh, at least, well, your friend had a.
At least they didn't rip him off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Charlie
And-
said. At least they didn't rip him off.
Shut up,
Phil.
Charlie. You're the reason I'm in here.
And
I'm
Phil
looking for my
came
balls
down
right now.
with tuberculosis.
TB. How do you get TB?
I don't know exactly. He was transferred to a hospital prison.
Oh, he's in prison. Yeah, you can get TB in prison.
that
How?
Gay
Butt
sex?
fuck?
I genuinely don't know how you get
I
TB.
actually don't know.
Does someone
either.
just cough on you?
Anywhere where people are living in close quarters like that and they're not able to get out, like they always have problems. Like they get lice and they get other stuff because everyone's just crammed together. So if he, was brushing up against the wrong
Breathing.
people,
Phil
or-
was transferred to a hospital prison
you fucking dick. I was trying to be real.
that had the added benefit of being co-ed.
So he got his dick wet all the time.
There he learned
Your
how
Honor,
to
I
watch.
don't want parole.
God, he was just giving women tuberculosis.
Well, this is really funny. He learned how to he learned how to watch out for guards while getting blowjobs and stuff. And he had
Oh,
We all
he
learned
had-
that as soon as we
he
hit
ended up
puberty.
having
But all
two
right.
girls who were both fighting over him. Like
a
one
day.
would blow him, then one would fuck him, then one would fuck him, and they'd get into fights. And
And they all had tuberculosis and were dying together.
I'm so horny all of a sudden.
yeah, me
the
too.
story kept me totally not horny. And
as
then all of a
soon as
sudden-
he got better, as soon as he felt at all better, though, he asked to be transferred back to the big house because he was worried of getting caught with all the fucking and that it would add more time to his sentence. So he
Hey,
was
can
just-
I get out of here? I'm getting too much pussy.
But time spent well fucking is time well done, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
I would, take 20. That must have been
I'll
bad.
take 20 bad pussy.
Yeah, bad.
What a toothy blowjob to be like, nah, put me back in prison.
Oh, God, toothy blowjobs.
In
I don't know.
1978, 2 years later,
stage
Phil
name.
was
I could do
finally
better at the other prison.
paroled.
How many years later?
1978, two more years.
Okay, 78. Good year.
He got a new job and a new girl, but construction money wasn't quite enough. He needed more.
I need to rob.
So he broke out the burglar kit. His
You'll
old
never
buddy
get tired
still
of your
worked
joke
for
there, will
ADT, and that was enough to get started.
What did he do to BET?
Yeah, he released an album.
Shut the fuck up.
He
Big
learned how to-
Philly
Yeah.
style.
Oh, Rich, you and your fucking purple shirt.
He put together a team to rob a wholesale jeweler. Everything went great. Everything went great until he made it inside and discovered that one of the guys had neglected to bring the one thing they needed to crack the safe.
Who are
So he
these
used
people?
his rock hard boner.
Have they never heard of a checklist?
There's just honestly, yeah, he's dealing with artists and they're all
now,
over
so
the
now
place.
he's with, but he's with
Disorganized.
new teams. Like he's not with people he's been with. So this book that is most of the info for this was his semi-autobiography. Like he wrote it with some. It's like an interview someone did with him.
Yeah.
And he talked about how over the years he just watched criminals get shittier and shittier at being criminals.
People
They're
don't
not like they
care
used to be,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, we used to have to. We worked for what we
when
wanted.
I was a
These
fucking
millennial
criminal in the
criminals.
fucking 70s, we didn't have it so fucking easy. You kids got the internet now. We had to figure out. There's no YouTube how to fucking crack a safe. You know what I'm saying? How you doing?
They left behind. They had to go, and they left behind what they found out the next day. It was over
$50 million.
$1.4 million in diamonds.
Yep.
More importantly,
Oh man.
they alerted the feds that someone was back to robbing banks.
And this was just after he got out.
Yeah.
What a shit.
Oh, so there's that few bank robbers that like you're. If
Well, apparently, so another thing of the story was that apparently, like the amount of robberies in the area had just gone through the floor when he went into jail, and as soon as he's back out, it's like,
Oh,
the
weird.
super thief got out.
So there's
and
not like
there's robberies again.
So there's not like fucking at any given time like 5,000 bank robbers running around the country. There's like a few that are doing it.
I think there's a few, and they say that they're pretty easy to get away with once, but that people get caught because they do it multiple times.
Well, you
Sure.
can't stop,
Because you
right?
leave all that. I mean, yeah, it's like crack.
What you do it? It's,
I need to rob another bank. Oh, I've got an itch.
Man, I just gotta get right. So Phil decided to lay low. Instead of robbing banks, he would sell drugs and work protection for the mob.
Of course.
Money rolled in, and he soon had a new luxury apartment, a 24-foot boat,
this guy still has an apartment. I mean,
and
get out.
a luxury
You get like $20 million
3-bedroom
bucks?
apartment.
Yeah.
Well,
Get out
remember,
of
he
house.
doesn't have the $20 million anymore.
Okay.
And a new 18-year-old girlfriend.
Oh.
How old is
He
he?
was still married. By
What
the way.
year was
36.
this? Oh, what a hot dad. Daddy dad. Oh, 36. That's not that. Well,
36 to 18.
I would have done it.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I'm 36.
Like, what's the
That's
whole rule?
fucking
Half your age
gross.
plus 7. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm going half my age."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking
Is that
disgusting.
the rule? Half your age plus
Half your age
7?
plus 7. That's the rule
Oh, okay.
for it not to be creepy.
Now I'm
So-
trying. Now I'm thinking of everyone I've ever been with, and I'm like, was it ever creepy? It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, probably.
You're saying I could have a 25-year-old girlfriend right now? No payments till next year?
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
Let's do it. Sign me up.
Lay away if you want. But at his heart, he was
Oh, I'll
still a
lay.
thief. So he took the occasional small job just to keep his skills fresh. This would be his undoing. He
It
took
really is an artist. He's like, I just have to keep doing it.
yeah.
Gotta
he's like,
keep
this
getting up.
This
Yeah,
is my
good.
thing, baby. I don't care. Prison can't keep me down.
He took a gig robbing a safe of a department store that was going out of business.
I just took a gig robbing a safe of an apartment store that's going out of business.
Supposedly, there was no nighttime security,
And supposedly there's no nighttime security.
but when he dropped through the roof,
But when I dropped through the roof,
he found himself staring at a pair of guards with shotguns.
I found myself staring at a guy with
Oh
shotguns.
no! Did they shoot him?
It was their first night on the job.
Oh. And he
It
goes,
was-
hey, fellas,
Those
nice to
poor
meet
guys
you.
like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's our first day.
We got no. They're like, dude, we got just one day. We got to go arrest a bank robber. This is awesome.
What a fucking downhill experience after that.
In 1982, he was back in prison.
Dude, that's his own fucking fault.
What
It
an
wasn't
idiot.
long. He wasn't there long before he received more bad news. He was being indicted for the murder of a pimp, Arnie Prunella from 1968.
Arnie Prunella.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So we went through the story. You didn't mention any murder.
I know. He was shocked, but then he found out the source. His old friend Charlie Brockle was making more deals.
So he did kill this pimp?
Well, hold on.
Or if Charlie sold him, Charlie killed the pimp.
Charlie killed him and
out.
blamed it on him? Charlie, you ain't got no nuts, I fucking tell you.
Luckily for him, the prosecutor made a mistake and the case was thrown out. A month later,
Whoops.
another murder charge came in against Phil, and Charlie was again the main
They're not
witness.
going to stop until they have fucking Phil in behind bars.
They were also kind of trying to leverage Phil, apparently, against these other guys who are big mafia guys.
They want to go even bigger.
They were trying to get Phil
to admit.
to turn over on
So
them.
they're trying to pin murders on Phil.
But Phil ain't going to do that.
Apparently, Charlie
a
had been
bitch.
kicked out of witness protection for committing another burglary
They
and
can
was
do that?
trying to
He was
buy
in-
his way back in.
I didn't know they can even do any of that.
What do you mean?
Kick
you
someone
out
out
of
of witness protection.
We're
yeah,
taking
if
away
you-
your new identity.
Yeah, if you go and
Do bad things?
keep doing crimes after you're in WITSEC, yeah.
But they're trying to keep the guy from getting killed, though, right? So
yeah.
Well, you're on your fucking own after a certain point. It's
At
like,
the
no,
trial,
I don't know.
Charlie.
I'm too sensitive to work for witness protection. I'd be like, you can stay.
So Charlie's trying to give them anything to get on anybody to get back in.
Because everyone wants to kill Charlie.
Is Charlie not just fucking over Phil? Is the whole mob wanting
He's
to kill
fucking
Charlie?
over everybody.
Because
Well,
they're like, if you turn in one guy, the whole mob's not going to
Well,
trust
they
you
want to
anymore.
kill him. Also, the other thing too is he's terrible with money, and so witness protection is the only way for him to have a stable, secure
And
life.
every time he turns someone in desperately trying to get witness protection to take him back, he's more in danger.
yeah.
Jesus.
Please,
Oh,
God.
the tangled webs we weave.
Fucking idiot.
Oh,
Go
Chucky
on, wee
Ballsack.
At Phil's trial,
right.
Charlie's own son
Chuck's
came
nuts.
forward and testified that his dad was a giant dick.
Wait, Phil's kid?
Chucky.
Charlie's son. Charlie's son comes out and is
Oh,
like,
Chuck Jr. here.
even saying that his dad had shot him once when he was mad. Ironically, the gun Charlie used to punish his kid
Whatever happened to spanking?
Was
right?
also
was
the gun.
was the same caliber as the one used in the murder.
He really did shoot his kid?
The charges against Phil were dropped. Yeah, but like punishment shoot him, not like murder shoot him. Like,
Okay,
oh, clean up your room, bang bang.
Yeah, you know how your parents like punishment shoot you?
Yeah.
This is very abnormal.
Did you ever get punishment beat?
You guys really... Well, punishment beating's a little different.
Well, it's punishment
sure you
beating
can
is
imagine.
for people who can't afford a gun.
Punishment beatings for those suburban people who don't actually punish their kids. Real parents use a gun.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this public
My dad
service
would have used a
message.
gun, but he spent gun money on meth, so he would just beat us with a cutting board.
My dad spent his meth money on guns, but then sold the guns so he could just buy regular food and clothes to go to work with.
What a guy.
Phil was
He's actually
released
a
in
trans guy,
1986.
so he's a Zer.
Phil was released in 1986
Called
and
him Dom?
finally went on the straight and narrow.
Or mad.
Mad?
But that pissed him off.
He went on the straight. He went for real on the straight and narrow.
No, he went back to selling cocaine.
Oh, for the love of God, Phil!
Okay,
Old
Slaton.
Philly Blownose.
By 1989, he was back in jail after a partner wore a wire to set him up.
Did
Chucky
he ever
No Nuts
donate
and
cum in California? Did he go back and donate sperm?
All
Is he
about
my
it.
dad?
Probably is.
You think?
Oh,
you can't have a
Philly
crush on him.
daddy
You're related.
balls.
Philly daddy balls.
Phil
Philly's
wouldn't
daddy
see
balls.
freedom
They're
again
terrific.
until 1988. This time, he really tried to go straight. He met a girl, and they tried their hand at flipping houses, but they failed. They next tried to open up a deli, but they needed a loan, and banks wouldn't give one to the super thief.
So he took one.
So he got the money from some less than savory characters. Unfortunately for him, those guys were soon arrested for drug trafficking, and the FBI included him in the indictment.
Oh no!
He
Phil
tried to fucking straighten
full
out.
Philly deli cheese.
He's probably a charismatic guy too. He's probably a cool, nice fucking Italian dude. You know, he just did some bad stuff, and now
I'm
he's
just
like,
trying to make a good life for myself
Yeah.
and my hot tits young lady girlfriend.
I don't know how to do a regular job. You know, his voice is gruffly now. You know,
While awaiting trial,
I don't know how to do a fucking regular job. Huh? Try to flip a fucking house, literally. I tried to fucking pick it up and then turn it over. I didn't know you had to fucking sell it again. Go on.
While awaiting trial,
Phil got his dick sucked again.
Phil's cellmate introduced him to the book series Left Behind,
Left
an
behind.
adventure series based on the Book of
Goosebumps.
Revelations.
Oh no!
Oh my God! And now he's a born again Christian.
The-
Well,
the
end of the
Preacher
show.
Phil.
Thanks, folks.
Dr.
You might know those
Phil.
books better as being turned into a series of movies starring Kirk Cameron,
And
then
Phil?
Nick Cage and Chad Michael Murray. Phil read them and found God.
Of course he did.
He's like, hey, I'm already into fucking
He
crime.
didn't find
Might
God
as
from
well.
the Bible. He
funny.
found God
From
from the Kirk
adventure
Cameron
books.
adapted book.
Yeah,
Well, if you're gonna find God, you should find it through Kirk Cameron.
through some sort of movie. Top Gun was
Show
my
me
thing.
that's
His
my
face is so
luck
angelic.
again. Don't waste another minute on your burglary.
He found God,
We did it.
and
we
then
sang
he
that fucking song right.
confessed to the murder of Arnie Prunella.
So he had done it all
Wait, he
along.
did kill the guy?
He did kill him all along.
And then what, though? And then he's just still in prison?
Wait, was he using his friend's gun? Is that he used Chuck's gun?
I don't remember the exact details of the story, but in '68, like he'd been brought on some protection thing to deal with this guy who was causing a problem, and then the guy who brought him was like, "You got to do it."
So this guy has been holding on to a murder for a long time too.
Since 68.
Turns out our fucking little Phil is a little bit more of a criminal than we thought.
Phil
And he came clean. That's
Was-
what God will do.
was released.
episode brought to you by The Church.
The church.
Sounds like a radio station on 97.3, The Church.
Phil was finally released, I believe, in 2009, and he lives in Cleveland with his family.
That
Phil,
man.
did you come to my comedy shows and hilarities? Why weren't you?
He
Super Thief
doesn't
was
leave
turned
Cleveland.
into a movie in 2012.
Super Thief.
A documentary
Super
movie.
Thief.
Super Thief.
Super
She's
Thief.
super thief.
Super Thief.
Wait, Phil Christopher?
Phil Christopher, yeah.
Is he on your mailing list, Jessica?
I'm going to find out. You think he gets a whole bunch of pussy in Cleveland? He's
You
like a
probably
hero?
actually already did fuck him and you don't know it. You're like fucking, I want to fuck this Phil guy. He's listening around. I was like, we already did. You don't remember my fucking face or my name?
My old balls.
We watched the Revelation number 3 together.
Oh, my God. Philly daddy.
That's the story of Phil Christopher.
Philly daddy.
So he's just living
He's just
with
living
God.
in Cleveland.
You
He
think
has grandkids and the whole thing.
Oh, my
He
God.
went straight though, or is he just not been caught on more stuff that he's doing?
I don't even know if he does anything.
How do
now.
you quit?
How old is he now? He's probably 60,
Well,
70.
really old.
He was born
In the
in
40s?
42.
42?
43. He was
So
born
he's
in
like
43.
70 now.
He's in his 70s?
So he's 70. He's
Late
slowed down. He's
70s.
chilling. He's lived a crazy life.
He's in late
75?
70s, yeah. Late
70.
70s. Because my dad was born in 47.
You said 43?
49?
Or 42?
He was born in 43.
Okay.
How does math work?
74.
Does anybody
He's
know?
74, right?
It's pretty great.
I just guessed in his 70s and I was right.
Yeah,
so
he's in his
we're
70s.
fine.
70s
Everyone
is
calm
fine.
down. We got the
Cheating.
number. We got the number. This is fucking, I mean, it's kind of nice that he seemed to straighten himself out. He found God and just decided, you know what? I'm going to do it right. I mean, I'm assuming. I haven't met this guy. You know, my
Maybe
disclaimer to
it's
the
just
listeners,
a-
I don't know this guy. I'm just saying from the story. It's
He
like,
found God and he realized technology was too advanced for him to continue
definitely-
robbing things. So he's
Jessica,
like,
you had to fucking, I was trying to give the guy a positive note. I was saying we're
Philly's
happy.
got a gun.
Philly's got a gun. Down, down.
Oh my God, dude.
Whole world's come on down.
Today's sources
I don't
include
really know the
What
words.
did Philly's daddy do?
Philly is old.
Charlie's gonna turn on you.
Hey, what happened to Charlie? Do we
His
know?
nutsack
I don't actually
got
know.
arrested.
Charlie.
They found his
Today's
nutsack
sources
on the
include
floor.
Super Thief by Rick Perello and, of
Oh, I
course,
thought you
the
said Rick James.
Evil Robots at Wikipedia.
Fucking
Oh,
robots.
Wikipedia. You think Charlie? What if Eddie Pepitone is Charlie? I just randomly picked a name from the lineup last night, but
OMG.
I'm just like, he's in witness protection
Eddie
and he's
Pepitone
here.
could be.
He would show. He'd have a bit about his nuts being ripped off at some
Joey
point.
Diaz is Charlie.
Oh
I'm
my
going
God,
to attempt
that-
to.
Joey Diaz isn't old enough to be Charlie.
Yeah, how old would Charlie
Joey
be in
Diaz
his
is like-
70s too?
Joey
right?
Charlie
Diaz
would
is
be
just a
super
bad.
old, too.
Joey Diaz is just a bad-looking 47-year-old, and Charlie is like 90. So
Charlie.
I'm going to look up
They
Charlie
ripped my
Brockle
nuts
right
off.
now and see if I can.
What's his last name? Charlie what?
Brockle.
Charlie Brockle. I bet he uses a different name.
I'm going to see if he's.
He must have gotten back into witness protection or he's in prison. Or dead.
Nothing comes up right out the gate about Charlie Brockle.
Nobody gives a fuck about Chucky Brockle.
Ooh, he might have died in 2015.
Mm.
It's possible. It's possible.
It's possible. Well,
Jessica Michelle Singleton, where can people find you?
you can find me all over the internet at JMS Comedy, or you could check out my podcast, Ignorance is Blessed.
Ooh. Is it?
awesome.
Hashtag blessed.
Oh my gosh.
What's the podcast like? What do you guys do?
I interview people about specific things. I ask them like ignorant questions that most people would be too embarrassed to ask. Like
Perfect.
I'm interviewing a little person soon and a Vietnam vet and some twins. I
So
you know,
I would get a-
most
I
people,
interviewed
should
like
the most
Brian
people-
Moses and I was like, why can't I say the N-word? How big is your dick? Do you love basketball?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like a way to educate people and also just be dumb.
And
Well,
show
you
that
should
it's
get
okay
a-
to ask weird questions.
Yeah,
It's
because
better to
people
just ask
are
them.
afraid to ask questions and it's like not being unsure isn't helping. That's not advancing society to be
no.
silencing people into being like, you just don't ask if you don't know. It's like, well, that's not helping. So that's
I agree 100%.
it's meant to
You're
encourage
helping
questioning.
the world one step at
yeah.
a time,
One
and we're so
individual listener.
so proud of you.
every-
And with your fucked up sense of humor combined, I mean, it's great. It's got its fucking values in many ways.
We're so proud of what
I'm
you
gonna
do.
start listening to that
We
podcast.
really, I mean,
I'm gonna start listening to it. Maybe.
To your own podcast?
Maybe.
You fucking better.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I would
You
never
need
do
the
that.
downloads, bitch.
I do.
Download.
Real.
Watch your own
So
podcast.
desperate.
for real.
This is a
if you
great
want to
podcast.
if you want to get our podcast, you can get on us at all the socials at Crime Pod on Instagram and the Twitters.
At creampod.com.
You can email
I mean,
us.
crime pod, not cream pod.
Email us
Wrong
crimepodcast.
website.
Gangbang is this?
Wrong website.
crimepodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email with any story suggestions, questions you have, dick pics, label those for Shefsky, whatever you're into, send that our way.
You should do one on the man who murdered my friend.
Ooh, tell
Yeah.
us about it after. I'm super fucking excited.
Okay.
We've done a couple of stories where like someone was like, "Hey, I know this person, so here's the story." It's really fun.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We love
Tell your
you.
friends.
Everybody
Tell
who's
everyone.
Yeah.
Rate us on tell people you don't
Rate
know.
and review them on iTunes.
Fuck yeah.
It helps. For the love of God, click the fucking ratings. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm
No, it really does help.
projecting.
No,
It really
we love
does
it.
help.
You're you're
And
awesome.
we're gonna send old Charlie Ballsack after you.
Yeah, put his fucking nuts
there
down your
you go.
throat,
His
kid.
old- do you think like his tattered balls just drag on the ground now?
That's the ghost of Charlie. Like some say, if you listen, you can still hear his nuts dragging on the ground. Yeah, totally.
Rip. Staple.
That's fucking gross. That sounds like that'd be a good beat.
Bye, robot.
Bye, guys. We love you. Thank you so
Bye.
much for listening, everybody. We love you. Seriously.
Where are you, Dad?